just go to the URL instead of texting it. It's working for some people, but not for others, so slick text. You just go to mystyleclass.com/soul. And if you put your name into the email thing, it'll shoot you to another page for the course page. mystyleclass.com/soul. Thank you.
Yeah, can I just make a comment really quick? I keep those little baggies out. I forgot to even comment on this. Just
Thank you.
good.
That was so good.
Those are my favorite. Those are from Paso Robles, where I'm from, and it's called Paso Almonds. They're incredible. They're really I have 3 bags. I take them because I don't
They're
need
so
3 bags.
They're so good.
They work. Yeah, so you know where they came from. I did not make that. It's an amazing company. But it's my favorite, so you're welcome.
Thank you. She probably has extras.
Hi everyone.
Hello.
I feel like I know you all so well, and yeah, it's crazy. It's only been 2 days. What can happen in 2 days is pretty magical when you surround yourself around the right people. I know you've seen me speak, but I haven't really gone into my story and why I'm here today. We're going to talk about our 90-day plan. I wouldn't be here if I didn't have 90-day plans. How many of you have done a 90-day plan before? Okay, cool. So half of the room. Awesome. Being an entrepreneur, there's a lot of stuff. You ever feel like there's a lot of stuff? Like some of you felt overwhelmed, you felt inspired, you felt all of these things. And with the 90-day plan, how I look at it is it kind of brings your crazy, your madness, and it puts it into action so that you're always moving the needle forward. Oh wait, I have to point it there. Okay, so this is my why. Try not to cry, 'cause I have a really ugly cry face.
I think we all do, so you're good.
Yeah. This is my why, and last weekend the MC Heather Schwartz, she was my very first mentor 10 years ago. I was fresh out of grad school from USC with 6 figures in student loan debt. I got my master's degree in counseling, and there's a common theme here. It was right around 2008, 2009, and it was when California laid off 30,000 teachers and counselors. And I thought I was told going into the program, no one will ever replace a counselor, which is true, but they guaranteed me I would have a job before I even graduated. And then I graduated, and I felt like I was right where I started. Quarter-life crisis for like the nth time, and not having anybody to tell me it was going to be okay. Not having anybody to tell me where to begin, what my purpose was, what was my mission, what do I stand for. All of the things that we're talking about today, nobody ever asked me what my life goals were. I was just taught to go to school, get good grades, somebody hire you, move up the corporate ladder, or find a good teaching, counseling gig, and maybe one day after 10 years I'll make decent money. But I always had the entrepreneurial spirit. Always. I would go knocking around, even at 5 years old, I would make these wreaths. And my friend and I would get on roller skates, and we'd roller skate around the neighborhood, and we'd knock on doors. Even when it said no soliciting, I was like, they want to see me. And I'd do my little trick, and I would sell these wreaths. And that was who I was. It lit me up, because I got to share my creativity with the world. I got to share my impact. But fast forward, after a lot of trial and error with corporate, with teaching, with counseling, I always felt like I was circled back to what's next. I love my parents, they're amazing. Many of you know them in this room. I'm their biggest fans. I was brought up to be an employee. That is how I was raised. I have an amazing family of teachers. But I always felt deep inside I was meant to do more. I was meant to be a change maker. I was meant to connect, to bring women together, and to show them how to find their purpose and turn it into a business. profit, how to make extraordinary money beyond your wildest dreams. Susie Carter, oh my God, your talk, fire me up. That's what fires me up, is limitless potential. But working as an employee, I never was told that I could have limitless potential. I was told you work for 10 years, maybe you'll make $60,000 to $70,000, and that is where you stop. That's where your cap is. But I don't know about you. I wasn't brought here to have a cap. I was brought here to move mountains, and I see that every single one of you. I hear your stories. It gives me chills. I have chills right now. It's amazing. I wouldn't have that. I wouldn't have the business that I have today if it wasn't for structure, accountability, and a plan, a strategy. So what I help my clients do is reverse engineer their passion, their vision, their purpose, and simplify it. So when I was out of grad school, I had zero source of income because I was working in LAUSD interning. And again, it was six months of looking for a full-time job with no source of income, living in West LA, you can imagine the rent, and I was going further and further and further into credit card debt. And it was almost like I attached my value to my bank account. How many of you have ever felt that way? You're like, oh God, we're in the negative. Oh shit, I'm worthless. And that was how I felt for so long. So one day I get a call from a woman. I put my application everywhere. Is Craigslist still around?
Yeah.
Craigslist, it was like every day, it's like, just apply for more jobs, 10 more jobs today. And finally there was health and wellness coaching. And I had been a personal trainer for a long time. And I got a phone call from a girl. And immediately, I don't know what it was, but it was like I knew her. It's like, I know you, how do I know you? Maybe past life. And she talked about health coaching and possibility and vision and words that they were so, I probably, again, talked about in a past life, but not in this lifetime yet. And so I met her and I saw that she was doing these amazing things. She was my first mentor. She talked about vision, she talked about goals, she talked about 90-day plan. She showed me I could make as much money as I wanted, multiple streams of income, passive income. And it was the first time in years that my eyes lit up because it was that childlike self that was rolling around, roller skates, knocking on the doors with my wreath that people just bought because they felt bad for me. They're like, oh, cute. But that was what I wanted to bring, and that reignited my fire, was to talk about vision. So, what happened here? Am I deleting now? Okay, so my why. So these are my two girls. This is Lena, she's 2, and this explains our family dynamic. And that's my husband, Luke, who has been my support. He helped me with my first business, and it's just amazing how we've grown together, and we've slept on couches, not having a home together. We've been through the ringer together, building our business. I used to, my roommate and I, when I first met him at the time, we were trying to figure out how to make rent because I had no source of income. And so I had the bright idea of hosting foreign exchange students. So imagine you're coming from a different country into the United States for the first time with wanting to live with a typical family who had it together with the kids and the dog and the white picket fence, and then you see me selling shit from underneath my bed on eBay in your room with my roommate who's in medical school. And we couldn't even afford food, and we would have frozen bread in the freezer and pasta, because that was all we could afford. And we're like, oh, go help yourself to dinner. And there's the frozen bread and the pasta. And they're like, okay, yeah, American family, bullshit. But I was creative, I was innovative, and I made it happen because I was so focused on building a business. So wherever you're at right now, about if money is a concern, if you're like, how do I build a business with no money? I'm telling you bullshit, and you said this the other day. It was like so beautiful. Bullshit. Bullshit. You don't need to have the money. You don't need to have it all figured out. All you need to learn is a strategy on how to be resourceful. So you fast forward 2 years, I built a 6-figure business, starting from nothing, in debt. But I was so inspired to change my life. It was like, you know, they talk about you either work from desperation to inspiration. I had both. I was fucking desperate because I had no other option. I was tired of not paying the rent. I was tired of couch surfing. I had to move back in with my parents in my 20s. Sucked. And this is what I've been able to build. I created something out of nothing. This event was created out of nothing. So, I guess the pictures didn't make it. But I had I posted on social media, if you follow me, my 2-year-old does this like sumo wrestler thing. I saw it. I tried to post it. I don't know why it's not showing up. But yesterday, Winslow got a picture of me going like this with like the ugliest face. That's how I photograph public speaking, but I'm just so intense.
Well, now we know where she is.
Yeah, exactly. I fall far from the tree. So I'm going to go over my acronym, which is START. And building my first 6-figure business was based on this 90-day plan, with this acronym over and over and over and over and over again. I've been able to help countless women retire from corporate America forever, build 6-figure businesses from home so they can be full-time parents. It's not brain surgery. All we have to do is learn to simplify it. So, oops, I'm like totally butchering this. So simplify. So all of us in here are visionaries. We're all here because we have a vision for our life and our business. But sometimes visionaries can get excited. You know, we talk about shiny object syndrome. We can get excited about a lot of different things, and then we lose focus and we overextend ourselves. How many of you have like want to launch 10 things at one time, and I want to do this and I want to do that and I want to do that, and awesome, but let's simplify. Let's focus on one thing. Focusing on too many things leads to burnout. And I almost quit about 1 million times because I didn't simplify. So if you look at professional athletes, you know, simplifying, they just practice the same thing over and over and over and over again. I was a pitcher, I played softball, and I was an NCAA athlete. I've probably pitched 1 billion pitches in my lifetime to master the curveball, the fastball, the changeup. You don't just get it in the first shot, and the same goes with your business. You struggle. You struggle, and you learn from it. But when you practice, 9 times out of 10, you're going to hit that fastball in the fast pitch in the strike zone. Same for business. So trust. Trust the process. Even when things don't go as planned. Planning events, planning the Soul Success Summit. There are a lot of things that don't go as planned, but you got to trust the right people are going to show up. You got to trust your vision. You got to trust your purpose. You got to trust the plan. Sometimes we set big goals and it doesn't convert right away because we want immediate gratification. And so then we quit before the ball started rolling. That's a big mistake, and that's why I showed you the statistics yesterday about entrepreneurs failing. It's because they didn't give them enough time to create momentum, to move the needle forward. So trust is a big thing. You've got to trust the vision before you get the proof. Repetition. So repetition is the key to mastery. How many of you have heard of that before? Repetition, repetition. Practice 1 million, 1 billion, probably 1 billion, I'm not kidding you. I would be in my front yard every single morning with my dad practicing until until the sun went down. I wanted my vision, I thought I was going to be the first female baseball player. Things changed a little bit. I was going to play for the Dodgers. So focus on your one big thing every quarter, and everything you do is funneling towards that one big thing. So I heard a lot of you said retreats. Some of you are launching a one-on-one coaching program. Some of you group programs, masterminds, whatever it is. It's not just only do that. Everything's funneling to that. So if you have a new sales funnel that you're working on, if you have a new invitation method that you're working on, every small thing is funneling to your one big thing. And just one big thing. Of course, we plan 2 Soul Success Summits, so. So receive versus resistance. Again, we talked about it this morning. It's become hypersensitive to the emotions around your big vision, your decision. Your emotions are everything. How you feel about your decisions is everything, because it either causes resistance if you are feeling dissatisfied, or you're receiving, which is when you're satisfied. So think of what are some of the emotions around satisfaction, like positive emotions that you think of? Joy, peace, contentment, balance. Joy, peace, contentment. Simplify it. Does it bring me joy? No. Okay, stop doing it. Until it does. Shift it until it does. It can be that easy. Am I afraid? Okay, why? Well, I don't like it. Okay, why are you doing it? Why are you working on a membership program for a year when you don't like membership programs? I did that. Why did I waste thousands of dollars and a mentor that I didn't even really believe in just because this had to happen? I was forcing it. But that didn't bring me joy. Does that make sense? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So again, when things come up for you that do not feel good, ask yourself what you can do so that you can feel good. When you're in the receiving mode, you're creating momentum towards your desires. When you're in the resistance mode, when you're pushing against a brick wall, you're repelling your desires away. Accountability. Huge. You do not have an accountability system. I'm going to say best of luck to you. This is the only reason why I'm still here, is accountability. It's because I've hired coaches, hired mentors, joined mastermind programs. Again, the same goes for anything in life. If you have a vision, financial, relationship, health goals, find some system where you're held accountable. You will have a 65% chance of completing a goal if you commit to someone. And if you have a specific accountability appointment with a person, you will increase your chance of success by 95%. You guys, that's huge. Stop doing it alone. Trend and track. So we all have our behaviors, we all have our quirks. I'm very aware of mine, for the better or the worse. You gotta gauge yourself and see where you're at, if you're on track for your goals, and not from a point of judging, because this is where people get stuck. They set big picture. Oh, I want to make $10,000 this month. And then on the 29th of the month, they're only at $5,000. Oh, I can't do it. I'm not worth it. I should just play small now because that's safe. No, you track so you see the trend. And then maybe instead of, every month, you're tracking weekly. Maybe you have an accountability partner that holds you accountable daily. Whatever that looks like. You trend and track so you know what your behaviors are so you can catch them before you start getting into those self-limiting beliefs. So are you on track to meet your goals? What adjustments do you need to make? Doesn't mean you got to change your goals. Still shoot for that 10K a month. You can do it. But maybe the strategy needs to change. there is no expansion. That's been a huge theme that I've learned in your stories is struggle. The struggle. That's where you learn and grow. And let's be honest, if it was easy, it'd be fucking boring. Right?
Right.
Books, those beautiful books were all created because of contrast. Not because things were easy, and that's what inspires people. That's what got your butts in the seats today, is that right there. So embrace the contrast and learn from it. What trends do you notice? Again, not from a point of judgment, but just to notice. Okay, so this is where we get into the action part. No, oh, please side over. Okay. We're going to start with best year. How much time do we have, by the way?
Maybe 20 past.
Is that?
Maybe 20 past. It's 3:18.
Okay.
Thank you.
This is part, by the way, once you registered for the mastermind, all of this stuff is in here, and we go through every single page together. We have your entire business mapped out, just so you know. Feel free to look through it if you want to. But this was created from the mastermind group. So what is your theme for the year? So for me, mine is list building. Maybe it's expansion. Maybe it's leveraging, maybe it's fine-tuning your systems. Find one thing. Describe in detail how your year will be different. I'm going to move through this really fast because I want to get into the 90-day plan. But this is reverse engineering. We're working backwards. Working backwards. So we break down every source of income that you have. We see what's converting, what's not converting. And then we do more of what's converting, more of what feels good, more of what you love. I can send this to you guys. Okay, so 90 days. What I really want to talk about is 90 days. And your year will be a product of 90 days over and over and over and over again. Again, which is what we're going to dive into in the mastermind. So your vision, be specific. Is it 5 new clients at $5,000 each, $25,000? Is it launching a new program? Is it starting a retreat? What is it? And then attach a number to it, because you can't hit a target that you can't reach. Be specific and measurable. You guys clear? Who's not sure about what they want to manifest over the next 90 days? Okay. Okay, so what will happen once you achieve your goals? What does that number convert to? And I love this question because sometimes we get so focused on the number that we forget who we are in the process. We forget our values. We forget our purpose. Because it's never about the money. It's about what the money provides. It's about the value. For me, it's time freedom and lifestyle. That's always been my number one thing, so I can be a full-time parent. What obstacles will you have to overcome? So do you have a scarcity mindset around money? Do you have limiting beliefs? Do you have no strategy? No accountability, no data? Sometimes when you're launching a brand new program, you say, oh, it's going to be a $100,000 launch. Okay, cool, awesome. Okay, do you have any data to support that? And it's fine to set those big goals, but don't kick yourself when you only get $10,000, $5,000, $1. That $1 made an impact on somebody. But now you actually have data to work through. So next year, or next time you launch it, you know the percentages, what converts. Does that make sense? Because I've done that so many times where I'm like, yes, I'm going to get this many people, I'm going to have a 50K launch, whatever the number looks like, and then only one person signs up, and I'm like, oh, I should just stop doing it. No, now I know the time and money spent into launching that program, and so I have data to support what's going to convert. I know how much money to invest the next time. What are some tools you will implement? So notice how this question will often answer the previous one. Again, is it mindset and personal development? Is it hiring a coach? Is it joining the mastermind? Is it going to a retreat? Got it? Can't remember. No, I got it. There's more. And what is your strategy? What are you going to do over the next 90 days to move the needle forward? We talked about a lot of different systems throughout the weekend, so now is your time to put it into action. Reverse engineer. Okay, so what we're going to do now is chunk it down. Because sometimes you're thinking 90 days, okay, I have a vision, making X amount of money, of impacting this amount of people, building my list by this amount of people. That can seem overwhelming. But chunking it down, again, it ensures that you're on track. And that's when you can trend and track. Am I on track to hit my 90-day goal, or am I behind? Again, no judgment, but just notice. So what I would like you guys to do, we're going to play the music for just a couple of minutes. I would like you to turn to the person next to you and go through all of that. So what is your plan for the next 3 months? What tools are you going to implement? What obstacles do you have? So we'll take a couple of minutes and just make sure that both of you share. When you speak it into existence, that's actually getting it into action.
I mean, I do this for myself.